listening to the sound of DJ Mad.
Yo, what is going on, boys and girls? Your boy DJ Mad D. Welcome to another episode in the studio with yours truly, DJ Mad D. In this video, we are going to be talking about finalizing your remixes, mashups, how to master them, quote unquote, which I don't call it mastering, I just call it finalizing them. But before we get started, I want you to do one thing for me. Actually, you must do this right now, which is go to getmyremix.com, this page right here, and buy some shit. Yes, you have to go in there and buy some shit because the information that I'm about to give you is fucking worth like $1 billion. So the least you can do is spend like about $25 on my website and put some money in my pocket, you know, and I'm asking you to donate, but you're still going to get something in return on top of the fact that you're getting free knowledge from this video. All right. So the song that we're going to be talking about is this remix right here, the top one, which is called Trap Queen versus Fabrizi, which I am going to open a session right now and let you peep it out real quick. Check it out.
We just had to go talking about your Lambos at 56 a gram, 500 grand. Yeah, I'm the shit. 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 I'm like, hey, what's up? Hello.
There you have it. So that's what we got going on. This is the second time that I'm actually recording this video because on the first time I messed up on the microphone, but whatever. So pay attention to this video for the guys that ask how do I make my stuff sound so clean and how do I master my tracks, again, which I don't call it mastering because this is not a full production. I call this finalizing. So first info, which I mentioned on the previous videos of Ableton Live, which obviously maybe some of you guys were not paying attention, is understand this simple fact, which is mastering is not going to make your track sound any better. All mastering does is enhances whatever you have. For example, if you have an amazing mix with an amazing track and an amazing idea, mastering is going to take it to another level and make it sound incredible. Okay, that's what mastering does because it makes it louder. Okay, now if you have a shitty mix with a shitty idea and it sounds like shit, all mastering is going to do is make it sound like bigger shit. All right, I'm pretty sure some of you are laughing because I did when I thought about this. So with that in mind, let's walk through the mix because that's more important than the actual master chain. So I got the Trap Queen song, which is on these two tracks. Okay, on the first track, I got an EQ cut in the lows at 156 hertz, and I also have a auto filter, which happens over here, which I'll explain to you once I get over there. And then on this track, I have completely nothing. That's why I have the actual song playing by itself. Okay, why am I cutting the lows on the first part? The reason why I'm cutting the lows on the first part is because I have a whole bunch of lows going on already as it is on the track, which is this part right here that has low information, and this bomb that I put in here that has a lot of low information. So I needed to cut the lows in there so this part could work with the rest of the track, and in turn it will sound cleaner. All right, the reason why I created a new track and I'm not EQing anything over here is because I used a filter on the original track of the Diplo, and I started cutting it down so it will have space for this track to breathe. For example,
married to the money, introduced her to my stove, showed her how to whip it, now she remixing for.
And then I'll bring it back up, and that's when the build-up starts. So how did I create the build-up with the rises and all that? Some of you may know how to use this. I mean, do it. Some may not, so I'm going to walk through it regardless. So basically what I did right there, let me mute the rest of the stuff. See, so it's actually this little piece right here. So I copied it, and I paste it right here, and then I started Control D, which is duplicating, and then I doubled it, tripled it, quadrupled it.
I'm like, hey, what's up, hello?
And then I went back to the actual sample. Now, how did I do the rise up, the pitch up? Very simple. Once you have all the little parts together, all you gotta do is select them all. Let's say, for example, there's a whole bunch of parts right here. All you gotta do is go like this, and then you right click and you hit consolidate, which is Command J. Learn your shortcuts. Trust me, it will make you work so much faster. And then it will put everything together. So now it's all one region. Once I did that, I double click and the editor in the bottom opens up. I assume that right in. And when you open it up, it usually opens up like this. So what you got to do is go to this little bottom left corner and hit on the E. That's, I guess, for the extra editor or whatever. Oh, envelopes. My E is for envelopes. And then you go over here and it usually opens up like this on volume. So what you want to do is go to transpose modulation, and the transpose is what's going to make that pitch. So you put a Q on wherever you want to start the pitch, and then you put a Q on wherever you want to end it, and then you go up until you reach your desired pitch. Now understand one thing. Don't go, on 53 or 13 or 14 or 10. Remember that all this stuff has to be musical, and it goes by 12 up the scale of a keyboard. Every keyboard repeats itself at every 12 keys. So if you look over here, I went up only on 12. If I wanted to go higher, I will go up to 24, and so on and so on. So every 12, so it could be musical. You don't want it to sound off key when it's pitching up. So make sure it's musical. And last but not least, to create space, I added the filter, like I mentioned earlier, the auto filter, which is another stock plugin by Ableton Live, and I did a low cut, which is kind of like a high cut, but I don't know, they call it backwards. And what it's doing, it's taking out the bass so it could create more space, and it could sound like it's thinning up. So when the big drop comes in, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Bless me. Thank you. So it's creating more space, so when the big drop comes in and the big bass, it sounds like it's bigger. So in content, it sounds like this.
I'm like, hey, what's up, hello?
So now it has more power when it comes back in. And then what else? I got this the screams. All that is, if you want that, that's a sample of The Witch Doctor by Armin van Helden, old school track. You can just sample it right there, although I have the actual sample, but whatever. And then I have over here a rise up. It sounds a little plasticky, but it doesn't matter because everything else is kind of hiding that effect, and it kind of adds a kind of like a jet effect by it being so distorted. But I am taking out some lows off of it, and I put a EQ8, and I'm taking out 289 hertz on the low end. So that's that. Then I have this boom thing, which I'm letting it go through completely full frequency, and the reason why is because it sounds good as it is, and I already created space on the mix for it to sound good. Then I have some claps over here to kind of give it like that trappy twerk feel, whatever. And the reason why I didn't add anything to it is because I actually created these claps and I processed them before I actually bounced them. So get used to creating your own loops and creating libraries. Like you can see over here, I have tons of folders that I use, and it's always good to have your personal tools. All right. And then over here, I have some haze to bring up the track. You know, the famous muscle on the beat haze or whatever. So I got a sample pack and it came with that, so I put that in there, and it just adds to it, and it gives it more energy to the track, unlike if it wasn't there with it. So it gives it that, you know, the big room, whatever sounding. So that's what I did on the mix. Very simple. But now imagine if you had multiple, you know, like let's say a remix to have multiple samples and stuff like that, you will have to go into each and all of them and process them and pan some left and right so everything can have its own place. Just think of a when you're mixing a track, think of it as a room full of that only fits 10 people. That's why the volume goes from 1 to 10. Only 10 people fit in this room, okay? And if you think about it, you can't have everyone stand in the same place. Everybody has to stand in different places. Like it's like a band. You know, the lead singer stands right in front in the middle. Then the bass is like a little bit behind, but it's right in the middle. Then the trumpet's in the left. The guy that plays the hi-hats on the right. So you got to think about it that way in terms of mixing. You know, you kind of have to, okay, who's up front, who's towards the left, who's towards the right, and only 10 people fit in this room. So think of mixing with that theory, and it's gonna change your life for all the guys that are doing mashups and stuff like that. So now let's get to the part that everybody's waiting for, which is my master chain, which you're gonna laugh when you see what I got going on there. Nothing. All I have is a limiter, and these two plugins. The reason why I put these two plugins is not because I need them, is because I wanted to teach you guys how I get these results by using these types of plugins. All these plugins do, they're limiters. I mean, I'm sorry, they are meters. Okay, so this plugin is by IK Multimedia, and it's in a bundle called T-Rax. Okay, this is called the T-Rax limiter meter. I'm sorry, I keep saying limiter. And then this right here is the world famous Waves bundle. This is called the WLM meter, which it's not that expensive. I think it's like $100, but trust me, it's worth having this. You know, if you're gonna buy something that you need. And for all you mashup guys, buy this thing. If you can't find it somewhere on a torrent or whatever, just go and buy this thing because you need it. And I'm gonna explain to you why you need it and why I'm only using a limiter to do this track. Think about this. You cannot remaster a master track. If you try to remaster, meaning compress and EQ it and whatever, all you're gonna do is damage what they already did. If the track already sounds great, don't go and try to compress it, because all it's gonna do is squash. On top of this EDM stuff and all this electronic stuff, they're already squashing the crap out of it. So if you squash it even more, it's gonna lose quality, and then you're gonna play it in the club, be like, wow, this mashup is so great, but for some reason it's not hitting, it doesn't have the oomph. And the reason why is because you went, you know, and you started adding all this Ozone 4, Ozone 3 plugins because you watch these tutorials and you think that's what you're supposed to be using. But guess what? Stay away from those type of plugins if you do not know how to use them. If you got plugins like that, which happens to be extremely powerful, learn how to use them before you apply them on your mix, because in most cases, those plugins are going to be the reason why your mix sounds like crap. Okay? So this is the part where we go to the mixer window. And in this case, I'm going to show you what I usually do. The first thing that I want to do to go back to these meters is I go to the loudest part of the single track, the main drop, which happens to be this right here. Let me turn on these plugins because they're off as we speak. There you go. Now they're on. Move this over here so I can have more real estate. And I put this over here. The reason why I'm going like this is because I don't need to see all this extra crap. All I need to see is these numbers up here. Now, I know what all this stuff means and how to use it. Peak, perceived loudness, and RMS. I know what all that is. I'm not going to sit here and explain to you guys what all that means, because it's going to take a long time and a whole bunch of examples for you guys to understand. So all you got to understand is this. This number right here, short term, and RMS are the same number. Okay, so when you look at right here, 12.8, if you look over here, the little tiny number is going to hit the same numbers at the same time as that one. So that's all you need to learn as of right now. And going back to the main track, this is the main track that plays by itself, which is the loudest point. So what I do is before I lower the volume on that track, I put it on 0, and play it. So that's the master loudness. So I look at where the meter hits on the loudest point. So it's hitting at 7.2 on both, which is correct, okay? Like I've mentioned before, this right here and the RMS are the same exact reading. So whichever plugin you have on or decide to buy, they're both gonna work just perfectly. So once I be like, okay, that's 7.0 is my my goal RMS or short-term loudness. I go like this. I go to the mixer. I select all by Command A, and then I lower the volume, which I already did. See that? Before everything was like this, so I lowered it down. The reason why I did that, and let me go to the master. If I turn off the limiter, now I have all this headroom on the master. So now it's not clipping, it's not hitting red, and that's your enemy. You do not want that to happen. Okay? So usually when you load up this the limiter, it loads up on 0, and this thing right here, the ceiling, is usually on 0.30. You want to change that to negative 0.01. Okay? That's the ceiling before it hits 0. So it's just basically 1 mini dB before it hits 0, which is 0 is right here on the meter right here. So now that I lower the volume, which you could tell by my voice and all that stuff, what I want to do is I want to reach that desired volume that I had before, which it was 7.0, which right now I'm at 12.2, which that's not good. Negative 12.2. I want to go to negative 7.0. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the gain on the limiter, and I'm going to raise it up until I get there.
I'm like, hey, what's up, hello?
So now I am back to the volume where the original track, this track right here, the Skrillex and Diplo Fabrizi, was originally mastered. Although, you know, if you look at the track itself, which happens to be this one, look how much over 0 is being played. That's just telling me that they did a horrible job on mastering. They just wanted the shit to be loud, and that's it. And they didn't even care. You know, in the EDM world, it's called the loudness war. They want their shit the loudest it could possibly be, which makes no sense because realistically speaking, the louder you go, the lower you go, which it goes backwards. Okay, I will explain that in a different tutorial. That's very deep right there. But remember, the louder you go, the lower it sounds, because everything is being squashed, and now all you're hearing is one straight wave. That's why you see your waves on Serato being all squashed. So there's no space to go, and there's no harmonics. Google that so you can find out what harmonics means if you don't know. And that once I reach my desired volume, I'm not clipping, I'm not using no Ozone 4 compression or mastering plugins or whatever. All I'm using is a limiter, because all I need in this track is to limit the volume. I don't need to compress something that was already compressed, like I mentioned before. All right, guys, I would recommend for you guys to rewatch this video a couple of times, rewind, and actually pay attention to what I said, because this information is very, very valuable. And I wish, you know, when I started doing this stuff, which it was a long time ago, that someone would have shared this type of information. And the reason why I decided to share this type of information, I think I mentioned it before, is because I always used to complain about how bad a lot of guys, most guys, they do remixes, or they try to do remixes, and they don't understand that you're not just remixing or doing mashups, you're actually producing. So you should you know, look at it in that vision. You are a producer. You are a producer in the making when you're doing mashups. So you got all these tools that come with Ableton or whatever DAW that you're using, so you might as well learn how to use them. It's like sometimes I bump into guys that they don't even know how to use Serato, and they DJ with this stuff, and they like, how can you not read an instruction booklet that is like 9 pages long and most of it is illustration? Like, it makes no sense for you guys not to take your time out to read something and to learn something that you actually use, so if something does happen, you know what to do. So that's just me. And if you want to learn anything, just everything and anything that you want to learn is on YouTube. The only thing that I have not seen is somebody actually explaining how to do what I'm doing right now. So I hope this stuff is useful. Would like for you guys to please comment, like, and subscribe. It will mean a ton for me. I have more Cubase tutorials coming up soon. Sorry guys that I haven't done that. The reason why is because I've been doing a couple of shows with Sean Paul. I've been on tour with him, so I'm gonna be uploading a video of the tour that we did, and many more to come. And last but not least, remember to go to this website, which is getmyremix.com, this thing right here, and buy some shit. God damn it, buy some shit. Show me some love, especially that track you just heard right now that I was describing. It's right here. It's the #1 track on the list. So it's just, it's only $2. Just show some love and buy that. I would extremely appreciate it. Also, make sure to check out djmad.com, and you could also check out all my stuff on Beatport Tracks or on iTunes. Just search DJ Mad, and you will find a whole bunch of cool stuff. Guys, thank you so much. I would really appreciate it. Coming up in the next video, I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be deconstructing. I'm mangling that word right there. Sorry, but I'm going to be deconstructing this remix I did for Juanes on his last song, which is playing on the radio right now on full rotation. And I'm gonna be showing you guys that I was the guy that actually did that remix. So I'm gonna be talking about that. I'm gonna have a Pro Tools section and a Cubase session, and then I'm gonna have a whole bunch of other stuff. So stay tuned. Thank you guys so much. Please like, subscribe, and comment, share, and other stuff. And please, whatever you want to learn that you're having trouble with, just leave it in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to create a video for it and teach you as much as I can. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, or month, or whatever. Happy birthday and all that good stuff.
You're listening to the sound of DJ Mad.